Hi, my name's Aaron Curry, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use my luxury retirement oracle so you can see exactly how you can retire within 10 years, guaranteed. Guaranteed. This allows you to put in your own investment numbers and see exactly what it will take to reach your passive income goals. And as you'll discover, if you let my team at the Insight Group manage your portfolio for the next 10, next 15 years, we'll give you a six-figure income for the rest of your life, six figures per annum for the rest of your life. That's equivalent to retiring with a £3 million pension pot. You're never going to build a £3 million pension pot in the next 15 years, and you can build a property portfolio that gives you the same income without doing any of the work. And I know that sounds unbelievable, which is why I've recorded this 4-part video series. You see, like almost everything in life that seems unbelievable, when you follow a proven system, it's straightforward to achieve. It's not necessarily easy, but it is straightforward. The same thing is true for buying world-class properties that mate like rabbits and triple the size of your portfolio in 10 years without an extra penny from your own pocket. There's a straightforward process to do it that doesn't make it easy. Okay? Doesn't make it easy, but it does make it straightforward. In fact, my team reject 59 out of 60 discounted deals that they look at to find the perfect deals for our clients. That's not easy. That's why we look at over £100 million worth of property every single month. We put in the work. So it isn't easy, but we put in the work and we build you a world-class portfolio with none of your own time. Now, today's video, this is the final video in a 4-part video series revealing how I can build you a £70,000 per annum annual profit buy-to-let portfolio in the next 10 years with only 9 houses, and how you can achieve that with only buying 3 houses, either using your savings or using equity in your family home or equity in other buy-to-lets or a combination of those. If you buy just 3 in this next 12 months, 3 in this next 3 to 6 months will get it done for you. Over the next decade, without putting another penny in, it will grow to 9 houses and an income conservatively of £70,000 per annum. That means you can retire guaranteed within a decade because somebody else is building you a property portfolio. So as I say, if you invest in 3 houses this year, your portfolio can grow to 9 over the next 10 years without an extra penny from your pocket. If you buy the right houses in the right area at the right price and manage them the right way. I'm going to say that again, the right houses in the right area at the right price and manage them the right way. It's that powerful cocktail that makes your houses mate like rabbits and your portfolio triple in size over a 10-year period without an extra penny from your own pocket. Now, by the way, if you can buy 6 houses, you've got the money to buy 6, yeah, then you'll be on 140,000 plus a year for the rest of your life from year 10 onwards. If you can buy 9 right now, you can be on 210, 220, 230,000 a year from year 10 onwards for the rest of your life. Okay, so you don't have to limit yourself to just getting through. And the multiples are normally about 40,000 a time, 40,000 a property. But I'll show you the detail of that shortly. You don't need hundreds of thousands of pounds. To get 3, you probably need about £120,000, but I'm going to give you the detail. Now, there's so much to cover, more than we can comfortably cover in one video. That's why there are 4 videos in this free 4-part series. In the first video in the series, the link will be somewhere around this video. You'll be able to see the link to see it. I showed you how I can build you a £70,000 buy-to-let portfolio in only 10 years. And I explained what's happening in the property market right now and why 2021 is the best buying opportunity since 2009. So if you haven't watched that first video, I suggest you pause this video and go watch that first. You can watch it now by clicking a link somewhere around this video. In the second video in this series, I showed you the most profitable towns and cities for buy-to-let investors in 2021. These are the towns and cities that will give you great cash flow and allow your portfolio to triple in size over the next 10 years without an extra penny from your pocket. So if you haven't watched that video, again, I suggest you pause this video and go watch that first. And again, the link's somewhere around here, maybe off to the right. Go watch that second video. In the third video in the series, I showed you the 6 rules that guarantee that every house that I buy for you rents like hotcakes to lifer tenants, people that want to live there long term, lifer tenants, and has great equity growth. So your portfolio puts 4 times more money in your pocket. That's the difference between retiring on 20,000 a year, 4 times more, on 80,000 a year. That's how significant the difference is. So if you haven't watched that video, again, pause this video, go watch that video first by clicking the link somewhere around here. In today's video, I'm going to give you my luxury retirement oracle, and I'm going to show you how to use it so you can see how you can retire on a 6-figure passive income in 15 years or less, depending on the actions you take. You can literally put in your own numbers, you put on your own bespoke situation and see what the outcomes are going to be and what we can deliver for you. I'm also going to teach you some critical investment principles about leverage and about good debt and bad debt. We don't want bad debt, but maybe we need to get more comfortable with good debt. And as you'll discover, not all debt is bad, despite what you were probably brought up to believe. At the end of today's video, you'll see the world in a completely new light from a property investing point of view and a financial point of view. Now, before we dive into the content, just briefly let me explain why this video quality is not what I'd like it to be. We're in lockdown number 3, so I can't work with my videographer. So it's just me with the webcam on my computer. So if the information to you is more important than the video quality, and if you'd like to find out how I can build you a £70,000 per annum profitable buy-to-let portfolio in the next 10 years, and why you only need to invest in 3 properties to achieve that, then you're going to love this video series. So there's one simple reason why property beats every other investment class, and that is leverage. This one principle can change your life forever. Let me explain why. Let's imagine that you have £100,000 to invest, and you put that in the stock market, or you put that and you buy a house for cash. So you don't get a mortgage, you buy one investment property for cash. So you put that money, you buy the house for cash, and over the next couple of years, the market goes up 10%. Your £100,000 property is now worth how much? That's right, it's worth £110,000. The market went up 10%, your investment grew 10%. Exactly the same if you bought stocks and shares, isn't it? If you bought £100,000 of Tesco shares and the market went up 10%, your shares are worth £110,000, you've made 10% return. However, let's imagine we took that £100,000 and we split it up into 4 equal deposits of £25,000 each. And we put down those deposits and we went and bought, instead of buying one house for cash, we bought 4 houses worth £100,000 each, and we put down £25,000 deposits. So what do we now have? We now have 4 investment properties worth £400,000 with £300,000 of mortgages on them, all rented out, all working for us. Now, what's the difference here between scenario 1 and scenario 2? Well, difference number 1, to be blunt, is you're getting more rent. If these properties are making you £200 a month of profit, okay, that's 4 of these properties are now making you £800 a month of profit. The one on its own that you bought for cash, if that was rented for £600 a month, once you're taking your costs off, I know you're not paying a mortgage, but you'd maybe be on £400 a month. So you're definitely on more rental profit from having 4 than having 1. Secondly, if you've got a tenant that moves out and that tenant's not paying the rent and you've got 1, you're 100% empty. You've got a big problem. But if you've got 4 properties and 1 moves out, guess what? The other 3 look after that 1. You don't have to dig into your pocket to fund it or cover it. Safety in numbers. You're far more protected by having the 4. And I haven't even got to the most important reason by a million miles. The most exciting thing is what happens now with these 4 properties when the market goes up in value 10%. Here's the thing. The market goes up 10%, but you've got £400,000 worth of assets now. Not just one property worth 100, but four worth 400 between them. So when the market goes up 10%, you make £40,000 of equity growth. You can go to the bank. You can say, they've gone up 40,000. Can I borrow 75% of the increase? The bank will say yes, as long as you put your rents up. And if you follow my systems, you will have done 3 to 5% every single year. No one moves out for the sake of 20, 30 pounds a month. So you go to the bank, they say, yeah, they lend you another 30,000 pounds back into your pocket. Your 4 properties went up. The market still only went up 10%, but the person that bought the one for cash only made 10,000 pounds. The one that bought 4 made 40,000 pounds and got 30,000 straight back out into their bank account. They can either use that and pay themselves back a lump of the 100,000 pound that they first invested, or they can buy a 5th property. Now they've got 5 properties to go up in value next time. The previous example only still got 1. Does this make sense? Leverage changes the game. You know, over time, stock market, property market, there's not a lot of difference over decades and decades of how much they go up in value. So someone investing in the stock market can say, oh, it goes up the same as property. Yes, but you don't have the leverage. Unless you know how to deal with options in the stock market, for example. If you're trading options in the stock market, that can be different. But if you know anything about options, it takes years to master, carries a lot more risk. With the buy-to-let, you can even buy a random one. Just go in this stage and buy a random one. Please don't do that. But you can go do that, and it'll still work, like I've said. It'll still go up in value over time. So we need to buy the right ones to make sure they go up, and to make sure you've got great cash flow in the meantime, and to make sure you never put another penny in again. And I covered that with you in video 3. But I want you to understand this piece on leverage. If that didn't make sense, rewind this video now and watch it again. Watch it again. Now, the next thing I want you to understand is what I call good debt and bad debt. Good debt and bad debt. If you're like me, and like, you know, if I had 100 of you in an event room or 1,000 of you in an event room, and I said to you, who was brought up with this mantra? Who was taught that debt is bad, you need to always pay it off, and saving is good? And I asked you to raise your hands. And I had 1,000 people in the room, about 900 hands would go up. Now, that's a room full of people interested in property. Actually, it's not representative of the society out there, because you're lucky. If you're in that situation, I was lucky to be taught that, because so many people are taught, you get your money, you spend it. You get your money, you spend it. You get your debt's okay. You use a credit card here and there and everywhere, and you'll probably carry debt all your life. Sadly, so many people are brought up like that. So we're already ahead of that curve, and we should be pleased about that. We should thank our parents for that. However, there's a challenge with that debt is bad and saving is good. The challenge is that's a saver's mentality. You can choose to be a saver, but I would hope that you want to be an investor. An investor knows different. An investor thinks different. An investor knows there is good debt and bad debt. So what's the difference? Well, a bad debt is something you have to pay whether you use something or not, whether you get out of bed or not. So what do I mean by that? Well, if I go on holiday for 2 weeks and I've got a mortgage on my residential property, or you still have to pay for it, even though you're not using the house. If you've got a car loan on your car and you don't even use the car for 2 weeks because you're in lockdown and you can't go out, or you're on holiday again, can't drive the car, you're still paying for the loan. That's a bad debt. You're having to pay for it even though you're not using it. Credit card debts, overdrafts, things like that, bad debts. And of course you want to get rid of bad debts. So what's a good debt? This is worth writing down. A good debt has to meet 2 criteria. The first criteria is somebody else pays for it, not you. Imagine that. Somebody else pays for it, not you. In the property world, that would be the tenant. What's the second criteria it has to meet? It makes you profit on top. It makes you money on top. So somebody else is paying for it, not you, and it's making you money on top. If I said to you that that was the definition of debt, someone else pays for it and it makes you money on top, how much would you like? How much debt would you like? If I'm in an event room now, you'd be shouting, saying, as much as possible, please, an infinite amount, please. Yeah, because that's good debt. Someone else is paying for it and it makes you money on top. You may as well have more of it. You know, Richard Branson, whatever you think of him as an individual, okay, he's definitely mastered financial wealth. He's got a written goal, a personal written goal. He wants to die with over £1 billion of personal debt. Is that because he's stupid? No. It's because he understands good debt and bad debt. He knows that he can take that money, somebody else will pay for it, and it will make him money on top. For him, that's mainly in the business world. He uses property as well. So there is good debt and bad debt. And what you have to do is shift from being a saver's mentality to an investor's mentality. Yeah, we don't want the bad debts, but we need to get comfortable with the good debt. It will quadruple your results, as I just showed you with leverage, in the first couple of years, the first 10%. But then I'm on 5 against 1, I'm getting 5 times the results. Then I'm on 6 against 1, I'm getting 6. It's an infinite increase in the results you'll get when you get comfortable with this and you understand it. Now, I meet so many people that I sit down with and they say, do you know what, Aaron, I've been studying property for a year or two. And I said, great, what money have you got to invest? And they go, well, we're not quite sure yet. And I'm like, inside I'm screaming, by the way, and this might be you. I'm like, what do you mean you're not quite sure? Well, we haven't spoken to the broker yet. We know we've got some equity in our house, or we've got some buy-to-lets. We know we've got some money there, but we haven't worked out exactly what we can release. And I'm like, stop, let's do that now. Let's do that now. You need to know what you've got to play with. This is a money game. You're wanting to invest and get a return, aren't you? You're not watching this video for fun. You're doing it because you want to get a great financial return from whatever money you've got, or you want to learn how to make money with property. That's why you're watching this video. And it starts by knowing what resource you have. What money do you have available? So if you don't know the answer to that question, by the way, I'm going to tell you at the end of this video how you can find out for free. I want to help you. Whether you end up using me and my team to build this portfolio for you, you should, or whether you do it yourself, I want to help you at least work out what funds you've got, because that's the next step to be able to move forward. Otherwise, it's a reason why you can never move forward, because I just don't know how much money I've got. So it's an excuse. It's an excuse not to move forward. It's an excuse not to make that next step. So let's help you find that out. We normally charge £295 to do a review with somebody and review their situation, and then recommend, as though you're a family member, as though you're a brother or a sister, or a mum or a dad, or, you know, depending on your age, or starting to turn into a son or a daughter as I'm getting older. But whatever you are, we'll treat you like family. We'll say, look, if we were in your situation, if this was your situation with the savings you have, the money you have in equity in your property, etc., this is what we'd recommend you do. This is what we'd recommend you do. Okay? So you want to make sure you do that. Somewhere around this video, there's a link, get a free review. Now, when you invest with the Insight Group, the average property, you need £40,000 per property. That covers everything, by the way. That covers your deposit to buy the property. Remember from video 3, we're buying properties valued between 70,000 and 140,000, because that is the sweet spot. That's where the magic happens. Not below that, not above that. Okay, so for our deposit, to cover the solicitor's cost, to cover any refurbishment costs, to cover the mortgage broker's fees, the tenant finding fees, to cover all the stamp duty, all the costs to buy a property, solicitors, they're all covered within that £40,000. So if you've got £160,000 to invest, you're starting with 4 properties in the next 3 to 6 months. If you've got £400,000 to invest, you're starting with 10. If you've got £40,000 to invest, you'll start with 1 for now. Okay. So what I've provided alongside this video, I've provided you with a link so you can download my retirement property oracle. Okay, this is our own technology, the Insight Group's private technology. I'm giving it to you so you can put in your own numbers. You can say, do you know what? I might have £200,000 to invest. If I put £200,000 in, what will I achieve in year 3? Where will I be by year 6? Where will I be by year 10? You can literally put your own numbers in. Where will I be by year 15? You put your own numbers in and you can see the outcomes that you will end up achieving based on some very modest and very cautious, conservative modeling. At the top of the oracle, when you download the oracle, you can see clearly there are about 7 or 8 boxes where you can change the numbers. They're up at the top. Don't change the numbers within the detail. They're just up at the top there. And you can say, I'm going to invest this amount of money. You can then look at the rate of property growth. Now, I model cautiously. So the default setting, for me, I'm going to model at 5%. So if the market goes up at 5% a year, what can I achieve? And, throughout these videos, when I've said you'll be on 70,000 a year for the rest of your life, just starting with 3 properties, 120,000 to start with, you will be on 70 grand a year within 10 years for the rest of your life, life-changing amounts. That's based on just 5% growth. But you can go model and you can say, well, actually, the last 52 years, it's gone up at 8.5%. Let me put that number in. Or the last 90 years, it's gone up at 7.9%. Let me put that number in. And you can see how that just explodes, absolutely explodes the model. Or if you're a super, 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 super cautious person, you could model it at 4% growth and see how that looks. What you want to do is be jumping down to those lines and seeing the rental profit plus the equity releases. And we've got a total. You can see it clearly on the spreadsheet. You can see the total. I think it's there in green. And it tells you what you'll be on. Now, the equity releases are tax-free. I don't have time to cover them in detail now, but if a property goes up in value, you refinance it and release money out. You can use that money to buy more houses, or if you've got enough houses, you can use it to stop and live off. Okay, so you choose. You either buy more houses and you carry on through the years on the spreadsheet, on the document, or you say, I've got enough now. At 10 years, I'm on 70 grand a year. That's enough for me, you might say. So then you're releasing the money, but you're not buying more houses with it. So instead, you go on holiday with it, or you buy a new car with it, or you quit your job and you live off it. You're releasing in exactly the same way you did throughout the years as you built the portfolio, but you're now releasing to live off it. And people say, can you do that? Yes. They say, well, can you get mortgages? For what age can you get mortgages to? To the age of 90, comfortably, you can have buy-to-let mortgages. I've got people in their mid-70s who are using our service to grow a portfolio and a legacy for their kids and their grandkids. And they can get mortgages. You definitely can. And by the way, those of you like me planning to live past 90, you switch to commercial finance. And you can have mortgages well into your hundreds till the day you die. Till the day you die. You're going to take this to the grave with you. Again, I'm not covering it now, but when you understand tax and the tax pieces, you understand you're going to keep these properties forever. And why wouldn't you? If it's making you profit every single month, going up in value every month, and you're never having to put more money in the deal, why wouldn't you keep it forever? So you just need to put your information in that spreadsheet, download it right now, put your own numbers in it, and see the amazing results that you get. And then remember, we're going to do this all for you. So if you're fearful that you don't know enough, no problem. Tick. It's been done for you by experts who've bought over 1,300 of these for clients successfully already. If you're too busy to get this done, you're not going to get 3 properties realistically bought this year to all the right rules. Tick. If you're still learning, you plan to do it yourself in 2 or 3 years' time. Once you've learned thoroughly, you might even be on some of my training courses, but you want to get on with it now at this massive opportunity of 2021. Tick. You can always switch to buying your own later once you've learned thoroughly, but this gets you moving. This gets you buying the houses right now at the moment when you should be buying them. If you've just inherited some money and you don't know anything about property, tick. We got you covered. If you're full-time busy with your job or full-time busy with your kids, tick. We've got you covered. If you've got the money to start with 10 or 15 or 20, you've got a big pot of money, tick. We're going to create you a massive income 10 years from now. Or you might say, I've got a 5-year goal or a 3-year goal. You bring it a lot sooner. You say, I'm investing 250 grand. I want out in 3 years. What's that look like? You put that in the Oracle, you can see exactly what that looks like. Or it might be the other end of the scale. I've only got £40,000 that I've got to play with. Can I start with one? Absolutely, you can start with one. And we get you one property. And it might be a 15-year plan for you. Put that in at 7.9% and it will blow your brains. Put it in cautiously at 5%. We're still going to build that portfolio even if you add nothing else in, or you might add to it as you go along. You can add to this as well. If you want to add further funds in the pot, we can model that for you and show you. So now that you know why you must grow your portfolio with mortgages, and you know the difference between good debt and bad debt, just let me finish by sharing some amazing stories of people who use property to give them a safety net to pursue their dreams. Just quickly, let me introduce you to Bill and Lavinia. Bill and Lavinia wanted to leave their jobs and start their own business in 5 years' time. And they wanted property to give them security to chase their business dreams. Because when you first set up a business, it's risky. When you first set up a business, you don't know how long it'll take to start cash flowing. So when I met them, they already had 2 properties near London. We refinanced those 2 properties and leveraged the 160,000 investment to buy 4 other properties further north in London. Now, by the way, that money, we just moved the equity, didn't we? They didn't take 160,000 out and spend it. They just moved the equity and put it down as deposits on 5 more properties. So now they've got overall far more assets going up in value, like that leverage example I shared with you. Now, 5 years from their start point with us, we'll have bought them another 3 properties on top of those 5. The 8 houses we buy for them will give them a lifetime passive income of £42,000 a year, because they've got the 8 very quickly. Okay, £42,000 a year. Peace of mind. By the way, these 5 properties we've bought them are cash flowing better than the 2 that they've got in London. The 5 cash flowing better than the 2 they've got in London. This gives them the safety net, as I said, to chase their business dreams in the timescale they wanted. 5 years from now, even if their business makes no money for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, I'm sure it will, and I'm sure that won't be the case, they've got that safety net. They're able to live their dream because they set up in property first. They put property first, gave themselves an unbelievable foundation for their future. And we were able to give them this without a penny from their savings. We did it all with found money, equity they've got sat in their property. The second couple I'd like to introduce you to is Simon and Carol. I love Simon and Carol. They started their property journey 2013 with 200k investment. They've now got a portfolio of 12 houses worth well over £1.4 million. Within the next 12 months, we're on with refinancing and buying another 4 properties for them. Now, they're already on 2,000 of rental profit every single month, and they can already release 50,000 a year. So they're on 74,000 a year if they want to stop right now. We turn their 200k investment into a 1.4 million portfolio, giving them £74,000 per annum, all with none of their own time. And once they've got another 4 properties, that's going to go up again by a third. They're probably going to hit the 100k mark if they wanted to stop next year. 100k per annum for the rest of their lives, and we've built that in just 7 and a bit years. The final person I'd just like to introduce you to is Leanne. She used £140,000 from a divorce settlement to buy her 5 properties. Now, that wasn't a good period for her. She was getting divorced. She could take that money and buy a house for cash, or she could invest it. Now, she had a young child, and she wanted to spend more time with her young child. She worked as a consultant. If she had bought a property, she'd have had to work full time if she'd bought her own residence. Instead, she invested it in these 5 properties that we got for her, which make her £1,400 a month of cash flow income. And she can then use that money to work less hours in her consultancy so that when she has custody of her child, she can spend time with them. She can say, I'm not working today, I'm spending the time with you. It changes lives. The point I'm trying to show you is investing in property changes lives. By the way, Leanne's now able to refinance those 5 properties, get money out, and buy a 6th, which will then make her even more money every month. And will mean she's got 6 houses going up in value, instead of if she bought 1 residential, it would have made her no money and not been going up in value at all. Now, we're all different. I'm not telling you to do what Leanne did or do what Simon and Carol did. I'm telling you to do what's right for you. But that starts with, let's review your situation and help you work out what your options are, then make an informed decision. Only then can you make a properly informed decision, because you see the numbers in black and white. Go do it yourself with the Retirement Oracle, or somewhere around this video, book a call with one of our team. Normally £295 to spend that time with them, reviewing your situation. They'll treat you like mother, brother, sister. Mother, brother, sister, father. That's a funny order to do them in, but they'll treat you like family. And they'll look at your scenario and they'll help you see what you can do with your available funds. And it is more often than not far more than you dare to dream. As you have seen, we build ordinary people that know nothing about property, and people that have tried to build a portfolio themselves for several years, and we go build them a successful portfolio. In every case, we build our clients world-class property portfolios with none of their time. These are portfolios filled with houses that mate like rabbits, triple in size in terms of portfolio over the 10-year period. And that's how we can turn 3 houses today into 9 houses in the next 10 years. 9 houses that will give you a lifetime passive income of £70,000 per annum, inflation proof, for the rest of your life. And a legacy that will protect your family for generations, because when you die, that income and revenue will just pass on to them and they can share that 70,000 a year. Now, we've come such a long way together in this 4-part video series, and there's one more step that I'd like you to take with me so you can make an informed decision about me and my team building you a buy-to-let portfolio at the most profitable time in over a decade. I'd like to invite you to join me for a live webinar this Wednesday, the 10th of February at 8 p.m. I'll throw it up on the screen. The webinar is called I'll Build You a £70,000 annual profit buy-to-let portfolio in only 10 years. Here is how. I'll build you a £70,000 per annum buy-to-let portfolio in only 10 years. Here is how. And here's just a taste of what you're going to discover in that webinar. I'm going to share with you the simple system I use to turn 3 buy-to-lets today into 70,000 of annual profit in only 10 years. I'm going to share with you the most profitable towns and cities for buy-to-let in 2021. I'm going to share with you the 6 rules that guarantee every house I buy for you rents like hotcakes and uses equity growth to triple your portfolio in 10 years without an extra penny from your pocket. I'm going to show you how you can build a buy-to-let portfolio with the equity in your family home or in your buy-to-lets. To join me live and ask me any question you have, and ask me and my team any question that you have about building your property portfolio this year, then click the below button to join me live. I look forward to spending that time with you and explaining everything and answering all of your questions so you can then make an informed decision if this is right for you. If you want a shortcut attending that webinar, if you think, do you know what, I just want to jump on a call and speak to one of Aaron's team, there's also the link below to have a free portfolio review, and they'll review the situation with you and have that conversation with you. Or why not do both? Book the free portfolio review and book to join me this Wednesday, the 10th of Feb at 8 p.m. Until then, look after yourself, look after the people you love. Go click the link right now. I look forward to spending time with you Wednesday night and explaining exactly how all this works and how I will create financial freedom while you get on with your life and don't worry about this. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you.